Hello and welcome to the Viking City Motorsports 200 live tonight from Talladega Super Speedway. This is the final race in the third round of the playoffs. Drivers trying to lock their way into the championship finale next week in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series playoffs. And what a race it is going to be. Lots of drivers trying to find their way in. And we'll see who joins Nick Starling and AJ Stravato, the winners from the last 2 weeks, in that finale race in contention for the championship. The drivers just wrapping up their practice session. You can see them here 3 by 3, a couple rows deep, getting some drafting practice in. And the driver on the screen, Seth Hatchell, looking for a race to try and find himself in contention for the championship. But let's take a look at the point standings as they enter tonight's race. 199.5 miles, 75 laps to settle the score, and one more time until they lock themselves in or fight for the championship next week. And it should be a ton of fun here. Lots of action at these super speedways. Talladega Super Speedway, the site for tonight's race. Here are the point standings. AJ Stravato with his win, his 8th victory of the season in 18 races. He has locked himself in and by far the favorite to win the championship. 8 wins, the most by a significant margin. Nick Starling with his 2nd victory of the season coming 2 weeks ago at Kansas. He locked himself in. Jeremiah Vincent just behind them. And it looks like those points not fully updated, but either way, here, let's get that updated. Hopefully it changes up here. No, Nick doesn't have that many playoff points, but otherwise this should be correct. Jeremiah Vincent finds himself on the inside of the cut line, 10 points above that cut line. Josiah Vincent 5 points behind him there, just 5 points ahead of Eric Hutton, who finds himself on the outside looking in. Both he and Seth Hatchell entered into last week's race on the inside of the cut line, and both with issues late in the going, knocking them outside, and they're only 5 points behind, tied in that 5th and 6th position battle. Alan Dice quite a ways out, and then Ryan Gemmel at the tail of the playoffs here needs to find a way, and it's going to have to be a victory for those bottom two. Eric Hutton and Seth Hatchell can point their way in if something happens to the Vincent brothers. But they're going to have to race right up front and be in contention to win this thing throughout the night. Let's take a look at the qualifying ticker and see where the drivers are putting up their lap times. Currently fastest on the board, the only driver with the time in so far, Safe Ferris, with a 52.26 on his first lap, trying to get that car up to speed. And now on the second flyer, we'll see if he can pick up on that. Eric Lambert jumps to the top with a 51.33, Seth Hatchell with a 51.83. Still a pretty good margin from Lambert back to Ferris. Can he improve here? We want to thank you all for joining us here tonight on V-Speed for tonight's race. Only one more of these events in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series before the season is all over. And man, it has just flown by. 20 races, and Safe Ferris with a 51.20. Not going to be fastest as Michael Newman tops him with a 51.19. So Michael Newman was on top. Jordan Shepler now moves to the point with a 51.16. Great lap time there. He tops Joey Mines and Seth Hatchell. Joey Mines again in that Napa and Mobil 1 number 20 machine. Seth third with a 51.17. Again, needs that good run tonight. Needs laps led to try and make his way back in on points. Just a couple minutes here before they head to the drivers' meeting. Only 10 drivers 11 drivers now taking a time. Jordan Shepler still on the top of the qualifying grid here. Zach Smith moves to second. Joey Mines in third, Hatchell fourth. Cody Adkins in that fifth position, trying to pick up on his second lap here. Ran a 51.18 on lap number 1. Timothy Emanuele in the 9th position, trying to pick up on that lap time as well, 51.27. And it looks like that's going to be it for him, as Adkins, we'll see what kind of a lap time he registers here on lap number 2. Right down on that yellow line. And actually, he may have already run his second lap, going to lock it up here onto the pit road, and that is going to be it for his times. Dylan Teal on the racetrack, the number 78 machine. And I am surprised Ryan Gemmel not on the track. Thought he would have tried to take a time, get the bonus point for getting the pole, or also Alan Dice. Surprised he is not taking a time. But right now, Jordan Shepler looking like he could win the pole. Quite a few drivers, actually multiple playoff drivers, not taking a time here. AJ Stravato doesn't need to. See, the highest scored playoff driver is Seth Hatchell in that 4th position. And then next, Jeremiah Vincent in 8th, trying to improve on his lap time. And those are the only 2, it appears. Josiah Vincent actually in the 6th position, Jeremiah in the 8th position. So 3 playoff drivers taking times. All 3 right around the cut line. All right, and that is going to do it, I think, here before these guys go to the drivers' meeting. Jeremiah Vincent registering 9th on the board, and we are going to go to a commercial break. We will be right back with your starting grid. V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to be broadcasting the Below the Double Yellow 2020 Cup Series, starting July 30th, Thursdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn 1. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
I'm Jonathan Proper, CEO of Jobs.com, and I'm here to give you the naked truth about laundry. Size does not matter when it comes to laundry. Let's start with Jugs. It's big all right, messy too, and expensive. You know why? Lots of plastic, lots of water, shipped all over the country, from factory to warehouse to retailer. That's what you're paying for. It's a dinosaur, and we all know dinosaurs are extinct. Meet our imitators. This is your average detergent pod. It has 20 plus chemicals with names nobody can pronounce. Nice colors. I hope they don't stain. I know color doesn't clean. Would you take a bath in either of these? No way. That's why we developed Drops. Drops is dye-free, MPE-free, phosphate-free, animal cruelty-free. So free, it's freaking awesome. We make Drops with only 6 safe ingredients, certified by the EPA. Drops is tough on dirt, but gentle enough for a baby's skin. It's so gentle, I'm taking a bath in it. Doing laundry with Drops is hard to up. 1 drop equals 1 load. Now, can we talk about my package? 100% recyclable. Manufacturing Drops ourselves and distributing directly helps us cut out the middleman and reduce transportation costs. With delivery plans as low as $4 a month, the average family can save $100 a year. Hello? What are you saying? The cleanest clothes at the lowest price? You're damn right it's a great deal. Thanks for calling. Shipping is always free. You choose the product and plan that's right for you, and we'll drop Drops at your door. The naked truth is that Drops makes laundry better and life easier. Every Drops counts, saving money, plastic, water, and time. So go to drops.com. The first one's on us.
And back to the racetrack now. Going to take a look at your starting grid for tonight's race. The Viking City Motorsports 200 from Talladega. Let's take a look at your front row. And your pole sitter here tonight, Jordan Sheplard, is a below the double yellow racing team front row lockout. As the field starts to get rolling here, Sheplard with the pole time, just 3 1/1000ths faster than his teammate there, Zach Smith. Great lap time from him as well as they lock out that front row. In row number 2, Joey Mines rolling off third, and Seth Hatchell, playoff driver, going to be rolling off from that 4th position. Cody Adkins starting in 5th here tonight. Justin Carey going to be starting in the 6th position. Rolling off 7th, Josiah Vincent, and rolling off in 8th position, Michael Newman. Starting 9th, it's Nick Starling, winner from 2 weeks ago, and rounding out the top 10 in the starting grid, Dylan Teal. Rolling off in 11th here tonight, Jeremiah Vincent, and he is rolling off 15th in tonight's race, Dennis Steele, and he's going to be joined by AJ Stravato, first of the drivers to not take a lap time. Starting 17th is going to be Eric Hutton. Starting 18th, Chris Samard. Starting 19th, Ryan Gemmel. And rolling off in the 20th position, Eric Gallion. Starting 21st, it's Dallas Sullivan. 22nd, Brandon Vasquez. 23rd, Alan Dice, looking for some points here tonight. Lane Sulfridge, 24th position. Lyle Sulfridge, 25th. Thomas Brendel starting 26th. Jordan Brockle starting 27th. Kyle Payne rolling off in 28th. And that's going to do it here. 28 drivers in tonight's field. Once again, presented by Viking City Motorsports. Looks like we're having some audio issues. I'm going to try and get that all fixed up. there we go. Field working through turns 3 and 4, looking to get back underway, or get us started here rather, for the penultimate race, trying to lock their way into this championship finale. Our 6 drivers trying to take up the last 2 spots, joining Nick Starling and AJ Stravato. Who is it going to be? Who's going to win tonight's race? And who are you rooting for out there? Comment in chat. Let us know you're out there. And we will try and follow along with your favorite drivers throughout the race. At the front of the field, though, Jordan Scheffler waiting to get things underway. Green flag in the air. We're underway at Talladega for the Viking City Motorsports 200. As the 13 of Scheffler gets a pretty good jump on that inside row. He'll pull out in front, but his teammate up on the outside pulling Seth Hatchell along with him as they go nose to tail. Can the 8 car push the 1 right on by the 13 down low? Here comes Joey Mines to the back bumper of Jordan Scheffler as we have lots of drivers jumping down to the inside. Nick Starling, AJ Stravato, and it looked like Jeremiah Vincent as well, all going to try and avoid any type of big mess that could happen early on as Seth Hatchell moves to the point in that high lane. Can he get a very valuable bonus point for leading a lap here as he's on the outside of Zach Smith? Hatchell trying to take the lead away on lap number 1 after starting in the 4th position. He's got the car out in front. Big push from the 21, but here comes Zach Smith. I think Hatchell had it at the line. Let's take a look. Seth Hatchell leads lap number 1 as they've got a wiggle behind him. The 21 of Justin Carey, who was in the playoffs as well. He got knocked out of the playoffs in the 2nd round. A tiebreaker between himself and Nick Starling. But right now, side by side for the lead, Zach Smith, Seth Hatchell trying to figure out who's going to have command of this race, but the below the double yellow race cars down low, controlling that inside line, doing a great job so far. And Hatchell has nothing for him up there on the high side, can't quite keep pace as he loses about a car length. Zach Smith, though, with a little connection problem, but he will lead lap number 2. And that high line not able to stay quite in line. You saw the 21 of Justin Carey jump up. Michael Newman now going to move to the 3rd lane. He's going to make it 3 wide here on lap number 3. And at 21, Justin Carey looking like he's going to move up there as well. He'll jump to the outside now, tucks back into the 2nd row. Seth Hatchell starting to lose some steam up here. The outside line kind of dissolving. And Joey Mines now moves to 3rd behind the 2 below the double yellow race cars. Cody Adkins in that low line as well. Eric Lambert up here in the mix for the Simulators Anonymous Chevy Camaro. Dylan Teal up here, Safe Ferris. Quite a few other drivers as we kind of have a lead pack. And then the 2nd pack, actually we see Dennis Steele kind of all by himself. A few car lengths back from the lead pack, and then Josiah Vincent leading the 2nd group of race cars here, and we see this very often at these racetracks. Those guys up there racing it out for that top spot. And then this group of cars playing it a bit more conservative back here, and one car I'm a little bit concerned for is Ryan Gemmel, but we'll see if he can somehow earn some points in tonight's race. He's going to have to actually win the race to advance. Comes into this one about 32 points out. And it is a tall order to try and make that up, and I don't think it's going to happen just from getting a good top 5 finish. There's not enough drivers in the field for him to make up all those points. So he's going to need to get up there, lead some laps, and have a shot to win this thing. Otherwise, he is not going to be fighting for a championship right now. Rides behind his teammate Chris Samard, who made some contact with him last week at Richmond, and ultimately led to Ryan having some issues, a blown engine for the 2nd week in a row, which has put him on the back foot coming into tonight's race. But looks like they are working together pretty well right now. And right in front of them, Eric Hutton trying to find his way into the playoffs. He's riding with Josiah Vincent. Both of those drivers playoff contenders. And right now about 3.5 seconds off your leaders. This group has started to fade pretty significantly behind the lead group as Joey Mines takes the top spot last time by. And now we see Jordan Scheffler kind of duck out of line there onto the apron. As that group of cars dives into turn number 3, starting to fizzle out in terms of organization. You see Seth Hatchell has dropped back to 9th. Right there in front of Michael Newman. Michael actually was up there fighting for the lead as well. So some of these guys making the same moves as those guys in the second group. Trying to play conservative here. Just 7 laps up on the board. Out of 75, a very lengthy race. Just about 200 miles. And you can't win it until that last lap, so no need to really race it out here. You're not really going to fall out of contention at any point unless we go green and you make a mistake on pit road. But right now, these guys fighting up here. Safe Ferris to the point. He has been so good this year. Just an early exit from the playoffs, very unexpected, as he's been one of the fastest cars all season long. Just has not gotten the finishes every week. But very, very aggressive out here on the racetrack, and it's a lot of fun to watch. And right now he is showing the way for these drivers at Talladega. You see Eric Lambert up here on the high side all by himself. Now he's going to try and duck down in line in front of Seth Hatchell. And a couple other drivers jump outside. That looks like it's the 39 of Timothy Emanuele. Up there, he's got a big push from Dylan Teal. And the number 78, as they get a little bit squirrely down there in the low line, Zach Smith gets shuffled out. And he'll get a big push here. The 78 of Dylan Teal right to the back bumper of the 39. Almost getting to the left rear, which is very dangerous. If you hit these cars off center. Looks like we might have lost Zach Smith. Might have fallen through right there. Not exactly sure, but Dylan Teal looking to the middle. Almost made it 3 wide in front of Seth Hatchell, one of the playoff contenders. But up here, Safe Ferris, he continues to show the way. And the inside line looks to be the fastest here in the early stages of this race. Justin Carey gets shuffled to the outside, and he's going to lose a few spots. No real help other than Timothy Emanuele. And the 39 will drop down to the inside. Hatchell following suit. And the 21 of Justin Carey, he'll get shuffled back here a few positions. But the only playoff driver up here in the mix is Seth Hatchell. And I know Seth usually pretty conservative at the start of these races, but seeing as how small of a group we've got up here, he might have made the right call. And the group behind Josiah Vincent, they are 3.2 seconds back. And not really losing time at this point. They've picked up the pace. We'll see if they can reel in the lead group at any point here. Once again, tonight's race brought to you by Viking City Motorsports. You can check them out. Use the command !Viking. You're going to enter it in right there. You can learn a little bit about them. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram. Viking City Motorsports is a small uncle-nephew racing team based in Waynesboro, Virginia, racing primarily dirt street stocks at Natural Bridge Speedway in Natural Bridge, Virginia. Viking City Motorsports has sponsorship opportunities for their car as well as driver availability if you're looking for a driver for your car. Viking City Motorsports can also order parts to fit your racing needs through various vendors across the country. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram. I want to thank them for sponsoring tonight's race. And I believe they're also on board for a few next year. Oops, that's the wrong command there. And we'll see how they do. here tonight. I know a couple of their drivers in the race. But right now, it is Joey Mines out in front, and it looks like Josiah Vincent has reeled in this lead group, so that is good news for him, as it looks like the field's starting to get things figured out. Who is that in the back, though, struggling there? That looks like it could be Jordan Brockle down on the apron. No, it is Kyle Payne, the 68 car. He is swerving all over the place. What happened to Kyle here? Headed down into turn number 3, gets to the back bumper of the 48, somehow just starts losing control in the middle of the corner and able to keep it on the apron. Luckily, no contact with anyone. But Kyle Payne, he'll go to the tail of the field here and in danger of losing the draft. As you can see, only Thomas Brendel within a second of him. So he is going to have to work really hard to stay in this lead draft, as everybody pretty much single file at this point. And going to be very conservative. You see Lane Sulfridge, he jumps to the outside there. Going to look up high. He closes the door on Thomas Brendel, and they nearly make contact. That was a close call. The 71 and the 14, that allows Kyle Payne to get back up in the mix here. He'll actually bypass those two. Big run for the 68. He'll move up to the 25th position. And at the front, now they go double wide. You can see the Viking City Motorsports colors there on the 39 of Timothy Emanuele. He gets a push from Dylan Teal up in the high lane, and Eric Lambert up there as well. Joey Mines, Cody Adkins down low, not able to hold off that charge. And the top 5 have broken away. Safe Ferris now drops back to pick up Seth Hatchell, Michael Newman, and the rest of the field. We've seen Safe very dominant at these plate races in the past. Both he and Seth Hatchell had a fantastic run going. I believe it was Daytona until late in the going. Safe made a mistake and actually made contact with AJ Stravato in that race, taking them both out. But he has been very good at these plate races, leading lots of laps this season. And up here in contention, he's led a few tonight. And leading this second pack of race cars as the top 5 have pulled away now to about 3/4 of a second in front of him. And let's take a look here. A little AJ Stravato check-in back here in the 22nd position, 8-time winner this season. He has run very well in these races as well, but often very conservative at the start, like you see back here in the 23rd position, racing it up with Kyle Payne. As see a little smoke there, maybe some connection problems up in front. But Stravato likes to stay out of the mess as much as possible, and then charges up there, usually around the midpoint of the race, and he'll be in contention, assuming nothing happens. But right now, side by side around him with Kyle Payne, Jordan Brockle. And he is pushing Jeremiah Vincent at the moment. Jeremiah looking to stay inside the top 4 in points through tonight's race. He finds himself 10 points up above the cut line. And Josiah just 5 points behind him. And then it's another 5 points back to Hutton and Hatchell. Timothy Emanuele to the point here, the top 5 still in that single file formation. 16 laps completed, now 17 on the board. Not a lot of craziness to this point in the race, but we do see some cars back there. You see Kyle Payne in the high lane. He drops down low. He'll move to the 20th spot, so good recovery after the mistake just a few laps ago. Right there in front of him, Jordan Brockle in the 19th position. He rides behind Nick Starling, winner from 2 weeks ago. Nick right here behind Alan Dice. Alan Dice needs some points, really needs a win here. 27 points below the cut line. He's up 6 spots from where he started, and his closest competitor in points, Ryan Gemmel, comes in 32 points out. He rides in the 15th position behind his teammate. And he's got a big mirror full of Dallas Sullivan at the moment, but nowhere to go really for any of these guys as they ride single file in the high lane. Not really playing a role here in the early going. And as soon as I say that, Thomas Brendel jumps up high with the 71 of Lane Saltfridge. They're going to try and make it work and maybe leapfrog the rest of this pack. At the front, we did see a battle. Dylan Teal jumped to the outside along with Joey Mines, and it's not going to work out. Joey drops down low, and the 78 of Dylan Hill get dropped back to the 5th position here. And now that outside groove starting to pick up in the back. Lane Sulfridge showing the way. He's got Jeremiah Vincent, AJ Stravato. Actually, that is Lyle Sulfridge at the point of this. And now they go single file back to the low line. But they cycle out Brandon Vasquez to the 27th position. So Brandon losing a few spots here in the early going of this race. Right here on the tail end of the field. Zach Smith, the only driver not on the racetrack right now. And I think a connection problem knocking him out of commission after starting on the front row there. So unfortunate for Zach, but one more race in the season for him to have another showing out here as Timothy Emanuele leads the way. 20 laps into the race. We're going to go to a quick green flag side-by-side, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing and specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
And business is picking up here side by side for the lead right now. Eric Lambert, Joey Mines, and Cody Adkins. Safe Fair is now going to take it 3 wide here. Timothy Emanuele, he'll get shuffled to that third lane. Can he drop in behind the 44? Looks like there's room. He'll drop in front of Jordan Shepler, your pole sitter, as we are on lap number 22 in this race. Coming to the end of that lap to lap 23. And Eric Lambert, who has shown some speed here at these super speedways. He's led some laps. Definitely his best performances of the year have been on these super speedways. Right now showing the way in front of Safe Fares and Joey Mines. Cody Adkins up here in the mix. Looks like Nick Starling has joined this lead group working on the outside with Jordan Shepler and Timothy Emanuele. Now the 21 of Justin Carey going to jump up high. He'll try and lead that second lane. As AJ Stravato, Jeremiah Vincent, Josiah Vincent now knocking on the door of the top 10. The Vincent brothers side by side. Jeremiah going to drop down in behind, and here comes Stravato behind them. Eric Hutton also not far behind them. And 84 Jordan Brockle. Seth Hatchell has dropped to the 15th position as these guys have all made their way past him, maybe trying to work his way back to his teammates in the V-Speed machines. The 70 of Lyle Sulfridge up there on the outside, trying to keep pace with Jordan Brockle and maybe make some progress up there. He has moved up a few positions here over the last few minutes. As up at the front, though, side by side, Eric Lambert down low, Safe Ferris up high. It looks like the car's maybe a little bit loose here on entry of the turn. 95-degree track temp, and that is very possible that they're starting to slip and slide as the tires get worn. 24 laps into the run. You see Nick Starling jump up high, and he brings Dylan Teal right along with him, trying to make it 3 wide and make it exciting up here at the front, but still side by side for the race lead. Safe Ferris led the last lap, and he's got Justin Carey now to his outside. Can Justin pick up a win here late in the playoffs? Justin was in, like we mentioned earlier, in round number 2 and just barely knocked out after a tiebreaker with himself, Zach Smith and Nick Starling. And you see the move there from Dylan Teal to drop down to the inside, as it looks like maybe we had a 3 wide moment a little moment ago, but does not look to be the case. They've settled it out back here. And through the tri-oval, a little bit unsettled is the 78 of Dylan Teal. Safe Ferris working both lines right now, trying to hold them all off. As we are a third of the way through this race. Pit stops should be coming up here in the next 5 to 10 laps. And drivers getting on the apron there through turns 1 and 2. Still nose to tail. The inside line much more numerous than the outside line. And that has been the place to be down low. But look at Timothy Emanuele taking over the top spot now, bringing Nick Starling along with him. Nick won at Talladega earlier this year, which clinched his playoff berth. And he did eventually make his way into the top 16 in points as well, so he would have advanced regardless. But has picked up 2 wins this season, and it all started with the win at Talladega. And definitely the dark horse coming into the playoffs. Had some good speed. Really did pick up the pace in the towards the midpoint of the season, and has had pretty good performance here in the playoffs as well. Obviously the clutch win at Kansas locking himself in, but right now up here in the mix, Jordan Brockle moving up to the 6th position. Good run so far for Jordan after starting tail end of this field, 27th position. Good to see Jordan having a nice solid run here. Hopefully he can get a good finish in this one. I don't think he's had necessarily a top 5 yet just yet this year, but could be in the cards here tonight after climbing up so many positions. We've got 2 wide. Eric Hutton back there side by side with Brandon Vasquez, who started to climb back through the field. See Seth Hatchell on the back bumper of the 77. These two no strangers to each other this year. The 77 is going to dump him off there, but Hatchell does have some support from the 12 of Michael Newman behind him, as well as it looks like the 20 of Joey Mines, who has dropped all the way back here after leading some laps early on in this. He is back outside the top 15. Definitely not going the right direction. Hatchell does find a spot down low. He'll drop to the 10th position. And right now in behind Dylan Teal and outside is Michael Newman. And it looks like Hutton might have lost a couple positions there. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but a little shake up here outside the top 10. Michael Newman trying to find a spot in line up there in the high lane. He does drop low. Dylan Teal jumps up high, so people not necessarily content to stay exactly where they're at, but it's been clean green racing as we're coming up towards lap number 30. And at the front, Timothy Emanuele trying to pull that inside line out farther, but Jordan Brockle leading that high lane, just himself and Justin Carey. And he might get a chance to lead some laps. Here's the 84, big run into the tri-oval. And the 21 giving him a big push here. Can he lead a lap at Talladega? Not able to do it that time, but he is right there, nose to nose with the 39 machine. A little wiggle into turn number 1. They're nearly 3 wide. Justin Carey still trying to stay connected, but they're going to lose some momentum through 1 and 2. Dylan Teal too far back to provide support, but those two going to need to get linked up a little bit better if they want to get down in front. And it looks like Justin Carey is going to dump the 84, leave him out there on the high line all by himself. And I think drivers may be starting to get organized to make pit stops. And there goes Timothy Emanuele. That's going to leave Jordan Brockle out here all by himself, along with a handful of other drivers, Seth Hatchell and others. But Jordan Brockle going to be your new leader. Hatchell moves to second. Michael Newman in third. Joey Mines, Dennis Steele, the top five. And then the Vincent brothers, they're 6th and 7th. AJ Stravato 8th. Eric Hutton 9th. Lyle Solfridge in the top 10. And it looks like we've got 13 cars on the racetrack still. Ryan Gemmel, the last of those drivers. And everybody else has made their way onto the pit lane, as it looks like Brandon Vasquez is going to win that battle off. Brandon showing his a lap down right now, though. He had a 1:20 pit stop. His caution flies on the speedway. What happened? The 84 of Jordan Brockle, your leader, wrecked here in 3 and 4. What happened to Jordan, who was just leading the race? That's going to shake some things up. Let's take a look here. Jordan out in front. You see Eric Gallion pulling up on the racetrack. He just exited the pit lane. And Hatchell right on the back bumper of the 84. So they go down into the corner. Jordan drifts up the racetrack. Just a little bit of contact there from the 8 machine, and he goes up the track. Oh, a little contact with Eric Hutton possibly as the 77 starts sliding after that. Was he able to hang on to it? Looks like it. Maybe a tiny bit of damage there. Let's go to a more overhead cam, though, with the 84 machine as Brockle hard hits into the wall there. Yeah, and it looks like Seth just got into him a little bit, tried to get up into the lane behind him, but Jordan really missed the corner. I'm not exactly sure why he drifted up so far, but almost an entire lane up the racetrack, and the 84 hooked off the nose of Seth Hatchell, and it looks like the 77 of Hutton did make contact, but I'm not sure if he got away with maybe a little bit of net code there. We'll see. The car looks pretty good. We'll see if he sits on pit lane for any kind of extended period of time to get damage repaired, but the car looks clean, so he might have dodged a bullet right there. As first caution flies on the racetrack, we're going to go to commercial break, and we'll be right back with the green flag.
V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to be broadcasting the Below the Double Yellow 2020 Cup Series, starting July 30th, Thursdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing, with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
And back at the racetrack now for the Viking City Motorsports 200. Live from Talladega Super Speedway. This is race number 19 of 20 here this season in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. And the penultimate race here in the playoffs. Drivers trying to lock their way into the championship race next week. Two drivers already locked in, Nick Starling and AJ Stravato. It's going to be Homestead next week, 135 laps in a night race at Homestead. Pace car rolls off of the racing surface towards the pit lane here. Safe Ferris is your leader, Justin Carey in second, and things very shaken up by that caution involving Jordan Brockle and Seth Hatchell. But Jordan sitting on the pit lane, Hatchell no real damage on that car, and look at this, pretty much single file for the whole field as they had to take a wave around. Safe Ferris out in front. A few drivers actually brought it down the pit lane to top off on fuel, as it's going to be very close to the end of the race for these guys. So it could come down to fuel mileage. Let's do a quick recap. One caution, 13 lead changes here in the first half or so of this event. Safe Ferris leads them all. He's out in front of Justin Carey, Eric Lambert, Kyle Payne, and Dennis Steele, the top five. Dennis, that 28 machine. And right now, those top five single file. Ryan Gamble starting to move up to where he needs to be. Right now in the 6th position. He needs that victory here tonight to advance to the championship round. His teammate Seth Hatchell also 5 points out coming into tonight's race. He's led a couple laps here, so he has the benefit of that bonus point. And right now, pretty much in front of everybody he needs to be in front of. But not by quite enough. He's going to have to get up there and probably going to need a top 3 finish out of this thing, assuming that nothing happens to his competition. And right now, pretty much single file, just Timothy Emanuele up there on the high line. And we do have single or a double file a little ways back. Joey Mines, Brandon Vasquez, Dylan Teal. These drivers we're all up towards the front at some point in this race, other than Brandon. Actually, Brandon dropped to the tail end of the field and just barely able to hang on to the draft at one point. But Nick Starling right there in front of him, he brought it down late onto the pit lane and finds himself towards the back of the pack right now. But was up there challenging for the race lead before the pit cycle started. And most of these drivers came in right around the lap 30 mark, and we have just about that much time left in this race. And the question is, can some of these guys make it? Right now, the top 4 with 7 laps of fuel used, some of that under caution, but the rest of the field, actually other than Brandon Vasquez, he has 8 laps of fuel, 7 laps of fuel used for Dylan Teal. Everybody else with 4 or less. As look at this, double file, many rows deep here, probably 6-7 rows deep. And Safe Fair is trying to hold them all off. He's looking for his first victory of the year. He's led 12 laps in tonight's race, which I think is the most of anyone. We'll have to do a quick count on that, but Safe out in front here getting challenged. Now Justin Carey to the outside. He's going to get the nose out in front, headed into turn number 3, but not able to pull out in front all the way as Safe gets a big push from Eric Lambert down into the corner. And he'll clear the 21 on the exit of turn 4, but here comes Carey charging back up high with help from Timothy Emanuele. Justin Carey could have the lead at the line here. It looks like he takes it through the tri-oval, and he'll have the nose out in front. He'll actually get a full car length out in front of the 44 machine of Safe Fair as he dropped down in front of the low line. Kind of riding the middle groove there. That's not going to work out very well. It could lead to an incident as the 39 not quite centered on the bumper. Going to be very careful getting right behind him. Now he does. And single file, or lined up rather, in the high line. Justin Carey, Timothy Emanuele, Eric Hutton up in the mix here. Saw Eric just narrowly avoid disaster as Jordan Brockle was spinning around in turns 3 and 4. He would have made contact, but it looks like he kind of warped through and was able to avoid that. The car remains unscathed. And he is up here in the top 5 or so, battling it out. He comes in 5 points below the cut line as well right now. The top driver in the playoffs in the field in that 6th position. Everybody else at least 12th or farther back. You see Ryan Gemmel now lined up with his teammates, the V-Speed Camaros. They're in 12th through 14th. And maybe entering a fuel conservation mode for these guys. You can see how much of a gap they've kind of left out in front of them to Joey Mines in that lead pack. And you can save a little bit of fuel on the racetrack here at Talladega if you kind of leave a small margin to the car in front of you, but you do want to at least be in the draft, and you want to have some help behind you. And right now Ryan, he's starting to lose a little bit of time to those guys and getting into that point where he is not going to be saving that much fuel, as he's going to have some air falling back on the nose of that race car. But as he rides right now in the 12th position, starting to get a little bit closer to Joey Mines once again, probably hoping for a little bit of a checkup so he can close in. Started 19th, up 7 spots, and needs the victory here tonight to be able to advance. Another driver who needs the victory, Alan Dice, right now riding in the 23rd position. Hear him lifting a little bit there out of the tri-oval. He lets Dallas Sullivan back in to the low line and continuing to lift just a little bit. Try and save as much fuel as possible and be around at the end of this thing. But in the back half of the field, and not really close enough to the front right now to make anything happen, but still plenty of time in this race, over 30 laps to go. Justin Carey out in front now. He leads Safe Fair's Timothy Emanuele, Eric Lambert, and others. If you're enjoying the broadcast, please consider following or subscribing. Check us out on all of these different social media outlets on your screen. We are doing a merchandise giveaway when we get to some follower goals. We're aiming for 200 on Twitter and aiming for 500 right here on Twitch. And we are up over 400, and we want to thank everyone for their support over the last few months. Over the course of this year, actually, it's been a good year for sim racing in general, and you know, we've noticed some of that success coming our way as well, and really appreciate everybody tuning in each and every week here, and hope that we've provided some entertainment for you through the course of what has otherwise been a pretty frustrating, difficult year for many. And we had the charity race last night, which was a great cause, and hopefully we can do a bit more. Oh, Kyle Payne a bit wiggly through the tri-oval here. Able to hang on to it, but he'll drop He's still on the apron. This is not necessarily going to work. Trying to keep that car under control. Really wobbly down here. Ryan Gemmel, he's going to give him some space. He'll go way up high. Kyle Payne trying to get that car under control. He takes out the pit lane exit cone. And now he'll get back up into the racing groove, but not after falling outside the top 20. He's up there inside the top 10, now 21st position, and you can see how much time, over 4.5 seconds lost because of that. Right up here, your lead pack, though, they started to pull away. Ryan Gemmel leads the second group, and that is not what you want to see for fuel savings. He needs to win this race. He may not make it to the end of the race if he's out here leading the second group. Currently 2.2 seconds back from the lead group. And his teammate right there, Chris Simard, trying to provide some support from behind, as well as Seth Hatchell. Seth rides in the 13th position. And then you got Cody Adkins, Michael Newman, Josiah Vincent behind them. AJ Stravato back here to 17th. He had started to make his way through the field, but once again goes into conservative mode right here towards the latter half of the pack. Hobby Farmer cheering on Seth Hatchell. Seth right now in 13th. He needs to pick up a few points, a few positions before this thing's all over, but still plenty of time. And the way they're racing up front, anything could happen. Side by side for the race lead, Justin Carey, Timothy Emanuele showing the way for their respective lanes. Carey trying to hang on to that top spot. He's led a few laps here tonight. He's got help from Safe Ferris behind him, that 44 car, who's been very strong. He gets a little bit squirrely off the nose of Ferris, though. That's going to cost that lane a bit of momentum now through 3 and 4. Hutton pulls up alongside the 21. And side by side through the tri-oval, looks like Justin Carey, he'll lead the lap. Timothy Emanuele right there alongside of him. They're starting to get closer and closer. Ooh, big wiggle from Brandon Vasquez as they entered the corner. It looks like these cars not too stable on turn entry, which I am a bit surprised by, with only 15 or so laps on the tires. And looking a little bit shaky up here in that outside line. Safe Ferris trying to give support to the 21, but he's getting pushed from behind. Dylan Teal a little slidey out of turn 4. And this could get very messy. Eric Hutton right in the middle of all this. He needs a great run tonight. He's having it right now, but he can't afford to get involved in anything. Now you see Ryan Gemmel and that pack starting to reel in the leaders. Now down to 1.7 seconds back, and perhaps they save just enough to where they can go flat out from here. A big move up there. Safe Ferris jumps to the outside lane. He's going to try and make his way around Justin Carey. And he will clear the 21. He'll drop down in line, it looks like. Nope, still going to stick with Timothy Emanuele. Now he drops down in line, leaving the 39 up out there. And the 21 peaks a little low, tries to get some air to the engine of that race car. And it will be Safe Ferris back at the front. Justin Carey second. Timothy Emanuele third. And out the back bumper of Safe Ferris, this is what he's seeing as the 39 of Emanuele right there in front of Dylan Teal. They work their way through 3 and 4. You can see the stragglers a bit farther back. Brandon Vasquez on board right here, looking back to the group of cars behind him. Let's take a look from Joey Mines. Ryan Gemmel has now approached the back of that race car, just a couple car lengths behind. And up there in the high line of that second group, that's Nick Starling in the number 32 machine. He leads that high lane. Dallas Sullivan, Alan Dice, Thomas Brendel up there and then Eric Gallion a little ways back. But it's going to be interesting to see who makes it on fuel, who's not going to be able to make it. A few drivers, you know, that stayed out under the yellow did not bring it down a second time. They're probably going to be very close on fuel. Look at Nick Starling making moves up here inside the top 10 now. He gets to the back bumper of Jordan Shepler, and that's where he's going to lose a bit of speed as he has to kind of match the pace of those drivers up at the front. But they must have had a great run, and he continues to start looking around now, maybe going to the middle. Nope. Yep, he will jump to the high lane. And nothing there. He'll drop back down low. But Nick Starling's starting to make some progress up here just outside the top 10. Alan Dice, he's making progress up to 13th. All those drivers bypassing the V-Speed Camaros and others. Safe Ferris, what can you say about the driver of the 44? He's led almost 20 laps here tonight and been one of the fastest up here in contention, and similar performance to what we've seen from the other plate races. As Dylan Teal gets turned, he's going to go down across the racetrack into the 21. Big pile up, cars flying. Eric Lambert involved. Dallas Sullivan, it looks like Ryan Gemmel might have made it past. I don't know who else was caught up in that. Seth Hatchell, he is clear of the wreck, but what a huge crash. Justin Carey got a little bit of contact there. And let's go back and take a look. It all started with the block from Safe Ferris, as they were headed down into turn number 1. Massive wreck. And a 78 of Dylan Teal across the racetrack, the 21 involved, and they all piled up behind them. Nick Starling was involved in that. Let's see what happened to Nick here. Big damage on a lot of race cars. Let's go to the nose cam. You see some drivers started checking up. It looks like, the 77 of Hutton, big damage as well. That may end his chances at advancing to the championship, as he got turned off the nose of Eric Lambert, and Dallas Sullivan going for a ride. Man, what a big hit for Dallas. He has had a few of them this year, but this rivals any of them. And look at Ryan Gemmel just narrowly avoid that. That is a very key moment in this race. He needs to win this, and that would have instantly taken him out of contention. Let's go see from the onboard here. Gemmel slows up. He sees everything happening, slows up again, dives to the apron, to the grass, able to avoid it all, and that is going to be a huge moment for his race. Right now in the 13th position, a lot of drivers in front of him. Big damage, though. Look at Hutton. That car really beat up on the right side, still able to continue. But he was checking up to avoid, and he gets turned off the nose of the 3 of Eric Lambert, and chaos ensues to bring out caution number 2. Let's take a look at the race recap. 21 lead changes here in the first 53 laps, 2 cautions. And that one, the big one, as Ryan Gemmel misses his box just a little bit, trying to get aligned correctly. And that's going to cost him some time and cost him some positions. But he is lucky to be continuing on regardless. Look at Jordan Shepler up here at the front. Safe Ferris wins the battle off pit road. Brandon Vasquez out there in the second spot. I think Brandon actually at one point was a lap down. I think he had the 1:20 long pit stop. And up on the lead lap now in second position, the Red Bull Ford Mustang. Let's see if we can get a word in actually with Brandon here. Brandon Vasquez is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy.
What's going on, Adam?
Well, Brandon, it seems like you've had quite an up and down race so far. We're about we're past the 2/3 mark. You're up here in the top 2. I think you had an issue with one of your pit stops earlier. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I got onto pit road a little too hot and got a speeding penalty. That caution actually ended up saving me because I was able to get my lap back on the ensuing caution.
Yeah, and there was a big one that just happened, and you got a little bit of a crinkle on your back bumper, but you were not involved in that from what I could tell. What's the key going forward here in this last little bit of the race?
Well, they're gonna bunch us up now, and I guarantee a lot of guys are gonna start trying to make a little bit more moves here with about 20 to go. So we're probably gonna see a little bit more aggressive driving.
And what's your strategy
So
to try and make it to the end and win this thing?
my strategy is gonna be to just stay out of it, to try and stay out of the big one. Hopefully, I'm even probably thinking about dropping back a little bit here on the restart just so I can ride for another maybe 5 or 6 laps and hopefully miss the big one and stay around for the last few laps there.
Yes, sir.
Get a chance to win it.
Yes, sir. That's what it's going to take, is being there on the last lap. But you had an up and down race. It's been fun to see you climb up here now in the top 5 and a shot to win this thing going forward. So good luck the rest of the way, and maybe talk to you at the end.
Yeah, hopefully. Thanks, Adam.
All right, that's Brandon Vasquez, driver of the number 19. They call him Batman, but no longer in the Batman machine. He's in the Red Bull car now, and he is up here on the front row with Safe Ferris, a couple Mustangs leading the way, and then you got the Chevy Camaros right there behind him, Eric Gallion and Timothy Emanuele, and then behind them Dennis Steele, who needs or is looking for a good run here. Alan Dice is the one that I was about to say needs the win, and so Alan up here starting to get into contention when it counts. You'll see if he can make anything happen here. What a story that would be if Alan Dice went on to win tonight's race. Ryan Gemmel with the mistake on pit road. He finds himself 16th here. And quite a bit of work to do here. It's going to be 20 laps to go to the end of this one. And we've got a couple fans in chat rooting on Seth Hatchell, the number 8 machine. Seth in the 9th position, actually in a decent spot right now. I think he might be the car to climb up into the top 4 as it sits. He's got his teammate to his outside, Chris Samard, up here in the top 10 as well. Joey Mines has been pretty much a constant up here in the top 10. One of his better showings, and was not around that wreck when it happened. So still up here in contention in that Mobil 1 Napa Chevy Camaro. As the field works off of turn number 4, pace car going to make the hard left-hand turn towards the pit lane. Such a long front stretch here. And it will be 20 laps to go. Safe Fair is in control of the field. The Air Canada Ford Mustang once again showing the way in the below the double yellow Cup Series. 20 laps left to settle the score. Brandon Vasquez does not get going. A little bit of a checkup there. Thank you, Squatch Vader, for the follow. Thank you for tuning in, and hope you enjoy the rest of the race. But big checkup there in the high line. Did anybody get any damage from that? Looks like Alan Dice maybe a little bit of nose damage on the race car. A little crinkle there. Did they stack up all the way to him? Let's take a look at what happened. He did run into the back of Timothy Emanuele, so Alan Dice, does he have aerodynamic issues as he drops in behind Seth Hatchell? One of the playoff drivers, Hatchell, up now into the 6th position, fighting to get up there and try and steal a win away. He's led some laps, was up there a handful of different times. Now the 39 of Emanuele up the racetrack. Hatchell elects to not take it 3 wide, probably a smart move. As we see 3 wide a bit farther back, looks like Nick Starling in the middle. He's got a little damage. Oh, was that a car? Thought I saw a car shoot up the racetrack, not exactly sure, but Eric Hutton, he is out here all by himself. And he needs another yellow flag to potentially stay on the lead lap. Really off the pace. Right now topping out around 170 miles an hour as the leaders hit 195 down into the corner. Ryan Gemmel starting to climb through the pack up to 12th position now. He's going to have to make some moves. Less than 20 laps to go. It's not quite crunch time, but it is getting there. Now Nick Starling, Justin Carey, who were both involved in that wreck, to his outside. They still have good speed, able to keep up with the pack. And the 21 of Carey right to the back bumper of Starling. Almost looked like he was going to take it 3 wide. Their bumpers weren't quite lined up, so that could have been a bad bit of contact if they had bumps there. But up here towards the front, Vasquez still in that 4th position, and it is Eric Gallion up high. Eric had a good run last week at Richmond. Was one of the fastest cars, was the only driver to take the lead away from AJ Stravato under green, and trying to follow that up here, racing it up for the lead. And look at this side-by-side, row after row. The field working down the backstretch, looks like all the way back to the 68 of Kyle Payne, 16 cars deep. Side-by-side, as Safe Ferris shows the way. Going to be approaching 15 laps to go here shortly. Who is going to take the victory tonight? Is it going to be Safe Ferris? A dominating race so far for him, 24 laps led. Which I believe is the most. That's nearly half of all that have been run in this race. Dennis Steele, who actually got caught up in that wreck, he's got a little bit of side damage, but he's up here giving the 44 a big push down into the corner. Little wiggly there for Brandon Vasquez, the 19 car. He keeps it straight though, and he's got Michael Newman behind him. Nick Starling up in contention once again, and look at Alan Dice here in the 8th position. He's able to keep that car moving forward. Gonna have to try and avoid trouble though here. He needs a victory to advance. Both he and Ryan Gemmel, who find themselves not too far apart on the racetrack. But Gemmel trapped in that high line behind the 21 of Justin Carey. Can he get up there and fight for a win? Not making much progress right now. Still 15 laps to go as they hit the line right now. Safe Ferris showing the way, looking for his first victory. It's side by side behind him. He gets a big push here from the 28 of Dennis Steele right into the back bumper. Our camera went to the inside of the 28. Not what you want to see, and it didn't look like it was quite aligned correctly. So got to be careful when you're up here pushing the leader. As Seth Hatchell now slots down into the 3rd car on the inside lane. Can he make anything happen from that spot? And can he get up there and try and take the win and lock himself in? He is the current leader of the drivers in the playoffs, at least on track. He is the 6th car, as the 19 of Vasquez slipped up out of line there. Looked like the 12 of Michael Newman almost was going to take advantage of that. But right now, the playoff drivers in this order: Seth Hatchell in 5th position. 6th position now, Nick Starling to his outside in 7th. We've got Alan Dice in 10th, Ryan Gemmel 11th. And then AJ Stravato 18th, Josiah Vincent in 19th, Jeremiah Vincent 21st, Eric Hutton 23rd, and that is how they ride here in the late going of this event. But the Vincent brothers not in position to advance where they run. They could both fall out here. At least one of them could fall out. I think Jeremiah might be in a better position to advance, but right now Seth Hatchell putting himself in the right spot to make it through. And can he do it here, riding in the top 5? The 28 of Dennis Steele, a little bit wiggly there, was peeking out of line, but can't pass down there. At least not on that side of the track. You really shouldn't. And the 12 car of Michael Newman, he slipped up out of the groove just a moment ago. He got a big push from the 32 of Nick Starling. Is that outside line starting to make a little bit of progress, starting to get a little bit more organized. Justin Carey back here to the 10th position now. He was up there fighting for it, but after the contact, a little bit off the pace compared to what he was at. And he's been working with Nick Starling for a good portion here. He'll actually go to the outside of Nick, and Gemmel. Look at that huge push down the backstretch from Ryan Gemmel as he's trying to make some progress. But outside lane, very dangerous this point in the race. And if anything happens, cars are going to come sliding up the racetrack. So the safest place to be when an accident happens is down low. And look at this, 3 wide, Brandon Vasquez up high. He gets shuffled out of line. Gemmel through the middle. Here comes Chris Samard behind him. And pretty well in control, but Brandon Vasquez dropping. Maybe he knows something's going to happen here. And he said he was going to back out of it. But he'll join up here with Dylan Teal outside the top 15. And Eric Gallion showing the way. Look at that. He gets the nose of the 33 out in front. It's the 33 and the 44. We've got Grunt, 1969, cheering on Eric Gallion as he goes to the point here across the start-finish line. This time he will lead, and he's got a big push from Michael Newman. Safe Fair is losing some ground down low. The 33 is going to drop down there in front of him, and he'll take command of this race. Just 10 laps to go. Can Eric Gallion get the win after such a strong performance? Here comes Safe Ferris with the crossover move essentially to the outside. Can he get back in front? Michael Newman going to jump up high. It's going to be 3 wide, I think. Yes, 3 wide for the lead. Michael Newman, no help at all up there. And, oh, there's contact. Ryan Gemmel, he's going to get involved. He'll get sandwiched. Lots of drivers involved. Big wreck. And Eric Gallion going to survive. Seth Hatchell looks like he made it through. But that is probably the end of the road for Ryan Gemmel. Unfortunately, Nick Starling also involved. Did any of the other playoff drivers get caught up in that? Looks like the Vincent brothers, no issues. Or at least Jeremiah, no issues. Did Josiah? They are both clean and clear. I think Alan Dice possibly involved in this one as well. The 57, that car a bit scrunched up as we have another yellow flag fly on the racetrack. Let's see exactly what happened here. Trying to find a good view of it as they were 3 wide for the lead. And it looks like the 28 of Dennis Steele just up the racetrack, and then it was chaos from there. Nowhere to go for many of those drivers. Take a look from the nose cam of Ryan Gemmel. The 28 down low just drifts up out of line into the 21. And Safe Ferris gets hooked a little bit. The 57 of Alan Dice, huge hit from Alan. So he is probably going to be well out of contention for this one. Let's take a look here what happened to Alan Dice. You see him get hooked up across the track. Big hit there. Chris Samard involved. Brandon Vasquez was involved as he tried to avoid all that. And trying to see if anybody else was caught up in this one. Josiah Vincent, he's back here. Let's go to his in-car cam. He was right behind Kyle Payne. See cars still hitting off the wall down there. That was Justin Carey. Kyle Payne gets turned around again. And looks like the strategy paying off of hanging around at the back, and some drivers now pitting to get damage repaired. Hatchell does have a bit of right side damage, but shouldn't be too much of a problem. And Eric Hutton going to get a lap back here. Hopefully get some more damage fixed on that car. But lots of drivers getting knocked out of the race because of that. And a lot of drivers requiring significant repairs to at least even get back on the racetrack and complete this event. But caution number 3, 24 lead changes in this race. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with the green flag.
There you see Dale Earnhardt, defending champion, a man who has won here at this racetrack. He has been absolutely second to none in 1987.
Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win, his 4th win of 1987 out of 6. Dale Earnhardt wins the first Union 400 at North Wilkesboro.
Everyone's wondering what can stop Dale Earnhardt. He's on a roll, 4 wins and 6 starts. I mean, is there anybody can handle you?
There may be a little more here underneath the sheet metal.
Well, I'm sure this afternoon we'll know a lot more, and we've got 500 miles to run. We'll see what happens.
Good luck today.
Our magnificent 19th annual $500,000 Talladega 500 is won by Dawsonville, Georgia's Bill Elliott, and the siren is beginning to ring. You'll probably hear it in Dahlonega. Bill Elliott has won. Davey Allison second.
Elliott now getting a challenge from Tim Richmond, but he closes again right in behind Earnhardt, coming down off turn 4. And Earnhardt loses it, goes on the grass, comes back, and Elliott goes inside. And Earnhardt still got the lead. Incredible. Decent driving by Earnhardt. 7 laps to go. Earnhardt went on the grass.
Dale Earnhardt is reminding Mr. Elliott, you make one mess up like that, and I might get through.
When you come to North Wilkesboro on a short racetrack, you expect some fender to fender and even some paint trading going on out there. We've seen it already as Brett Bonine gave Jerry Cranmer a nudge in the rear end, and now we're seeing some great competition out there between Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott.
And back at the racetrack now, about to get things underway for the conclusion of this race. Once again, the Viking City Motorsports 200 here in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series playoffs. And drivers trying to lock themselves into the championship finale next week at Homestead. Right now, it is Nick Starling and AJ Stravato locked in. But look at this, Seth Hatchell up here on the front row of this restart alongside Eric Gallion. And a few other drivers involved in the last wreck not going to be able to advance. That is Ryan Gemmel and Alan Dice, unless something crazy happens here. I believe they are back on the racetrack, both of them, but significantly damaged and not going to have a chance to win this thing unless the whole field wrecks in front of them, which it's Talladega not out of the question. Green flag in the air, and the 33 of Gallion gets him going once again. Can he capture his first victory of the season after a very strong performance last week at Richmond? Seth Hatchell with a bit of damage up high. He's got no help at all. Josiah Vincent going to come to the inside, and how the tables have turned for the 8 machine of Hatchell, who was well on his way to advancing before that whole thing broke up there. and he is going to fall now behind this line of cars on the inside. Looking for some support, though, from the drivers behind him. Can't quite find that help just yet. And Eric Gallion leading the way. Timothy Emanuele in the Viking City Motorsports Chevy Camaro in that second position, and Josiah Vincent third, Stravato fourth, Jeremiah Vincent fifth. Now Hatchell with a little bit of help from Joey Mines, the 20 car, as well as the 44 of Safe Ferris, the 71 of Lane Sulfridge as well. And they're going to have to work together very well to get that 8 car up towards the front. And the 4 of Josiah Vincent, he's going to jump up there. Jeremiah Vincent also going to jump up with Stravato in the 48, as they are going to push that 4 car up towards the front. But Eric Gallion down low, can he have the 39 give him a push to try and hold him off? Looks like Josiah Vincent going to get that car out in front. Hatchell trying to find a way up past these cars. He knows he has to beat the 2 Vincent brothers in order to advance, and right now not in position to do so, as Josiah Vincent leads the way. 5 laps to go, coming to 4 laps to go. And Gallion down low, still fighting to try and get back out in front, and the 39 not able to give him the help he needs to do that, as they are a little bit unsynced down there, and not getting the help from the 70 of Lyle Sulfridge. Probably somewhat working with his teammates and friends up there in the high lane. He's not going to help out the low lane, and lagging back by about a car length. But here comes Gallion charging back to the inside still with a 39 giving him the big push. Hatchell in the 4th position on the outside lane. He's going to have to find some way to get up past these cars. They've kind of boxed him in right now, and he is going to have to find a way around. It's going to either have to be a bump. Oh, the 70 gets turned, and Hatchell goes around, as well as Nick Starling and others. Hatchell didn't really make much contact with the wall, so he might have actually escaped fairly well from that. But Josiah Vincent up front, not sure what happened with the 70 of Sulfridge. He just kind of lost it all on his own, and that's going to bring out another yellow flag as Hatchell gets hooked there. And Safe Ferris went flying. He went for absolute ride, and we've seen unfortunately a very similar story from many drivers on that spot in the track. Gonna rewind once again here. You see the 70, just a little bit of a hook there off the 13. Hatchell just noses into the outside wall, no real contact otherwise. But what about Safe Ferris? What a race he had, and it is going to end prematurely here. The 44, nowhere to go, as he gets slammed into the outside wall, flying through the air, bouncing across the ground, and the engine blown on that race car. Safe Ferris' night is over. And let's see if we can get a better look at what happened to Seth Hatchell. I don't think he had too much of an impact there, but definitely still, you don't want to make any contact with the wall if you don't have to. He gets hit pretty hard in the rear and just noses it into the outside. Luckily, the 70 avoids him as well as the 20. And he came back down across the racetrack. The car looks to be okay overall. He's going to probably want to check and see if he's got any significant damage, but his main opponent at this point going to be the track position with Josiah Vincent leading, looking like he's going to lock his way in if he can stay up here and win this race. So right now, as they run, let's take a look at the points when they were entering tonight's race. See, AJ Stravato came in, locked in. Nick Starling locked in. Jeremiah Vincent, 10 points up from the cut line. He rides in 5th right now, and looking like he could advance in that position. Josiah Vincent, your leader, trying to lock himself in with the win, just 5 points in above the cut line on the start of this race. Eric Hutton has had some issues, caught up in a wreck. He is 18th and significant damage on that car. He entered 5 points behind. Hatchell just getting turned around. He entered 5 points out, and right now riding in 12th Alan Dice, big damage on that race car. He rides in 20th, last car on the lead lap, actually. And then Ryan Gemmel, also big damage on that car. But he finds himself in the 10th position somehow with a car that, honestly, looks like a modified out there on a super speedway. But somehow he's got enough speed to hang with the pack at least a little bit. And I think he's just hoping for something to happen up there among the leaders and the Red Sea parts, and he can pull on through and somehow capture a victory here. But it is looking pretty desperate for the 16, as well as the 8 car of Hatchell. Both the V-Speed machines looking like they are going to struggle to advance here. Hatchell has to make some pretty bold moves to get back up and have a shot at this one. Alan Dice also, that car heavily damaged on almost all sides of the race car. Looks like the rear axle out of alignment. So yeah, let's actually take a look from this view. That car definitely not as moving as straight as it could. You can see the axle really shifted over to the left in the back there. But he is still out on the racetrack, and again, it's not over till it's over. But up at the front, they're double wide. Going to get ready for the restart here. One whole lap around, though. It's about 2.5 minutes. Gives us some time to let you know that you can join in on our merchandise giveaway if you follow us on Twitter and here on Twitch. We're trying to hit these follower goals, and when we do, you'll be eligible for a giveaway of any shirt or hat on our website. Check us out at vspeedsim.com/merch, and you can see what shirts and hats we've got available. And I want to thank everybody who's joined along over the past year or so, and has made 2020 a very good year for V-Speed, and we appreciate every single one of you for coming on out each and every week. And you can follow us on all of these different social media outlets. You can check out race replays on YouTube and stay involved and up to date with what we're doing here. It's going to be the off season for us pretty soon, but we are looking to bring on some team members in terms of the broadcast. And so if you are interested in getting started in broadcasting and want to learn to do what you see here on V-Speed each and every week, we're looking for a commentator, producer to jump on board and broadcast some races in other days throughout the week. We've got interest for Fridays, Saturdays, and even some of these other midweek days that were otherwise booked with the single channel here. We're looking to open up a second channel, and so if you are interested in getting involved, check us out at vspeedsim.com and fill out our contact form or just message us here in the chat. As pace car pulls to the pit lane, it is Josiah Vincent out in front. Started 7th here tonight. He's led 4 laps, and he's got help behind him in terms of the 48 car and the 9 machine. And all 3 of those drivers looking like they may be able to advance at the end of this race. Eric Gallion up high. The 3 down low going to jump out to a lead together. A little bit of coordination on the start does not hurt their efforts, as the 33 of Gallion, a little blink there. Does he drop down in line? And they are a bit staggered behind them, so it's going to be a tough task for that 33 car to get up here and try and pass them all. Timothy Emanuele not quite close enough to give some support, but he will reel them back in. And then you've got Lane Sulfridge, the 71. He's going to jump to the outside, try and make something happen here. Here comes the 33 of Gallion. Can he make the outside lane work? And the 39 of Emanuele, he's going to go to the inside. He's not going to help the 33. He's looking to win the race for himself, as now he gets a big run down low. Does he make the move to the outside? Safe Fair is down there off the pace. 39 does jump outside. Timothy Emanuele there. AJ Stravato in second. Does he get his 9th win of the year? White flag in the air. Josiah Vincent leads. Jeremiah Vincent in third. right there. Both of those drivers trying to lock in on points or with a win, and they are on their way to doing so. Josiah Vincent, a winner already this season. Jeremiah has not yet won. Here comes Timothy Emanuele with the run on the outside. Can he get a victory? He's going to get some help from Gallion behind him, but not quite close enough. I don't think he's going to have the steam to do it. But it's not over. Still quite a ways to go this stretch. Does Stravato try and capture the winners? He pushes teammate and friend Josiah Vincent to victory lane. That's looking like it's going to be the case. Josiah Vincent through the tri-oval. He's going to win at Talladega and lock himself into the championship round. And he'll be joined with the number 9 of Jeremiah Vincent finishing 3rd. They will both advance, and they'll join Nick Starling and AJ Stravato in the championship finale at Homestead. Congratulations to Josiah Vincent, winner tonight at Talladega, leading just 7 laps after starting in 7th. He comes home the winner here tonight. And that is the easiest, well, not the easiest, but the best way to ensure that you are moving on to the championship is by taking home that checkered flag. Oh, a little bit of congratulatory bumping going on as he gets turned around, but that is your winner here tonight. Whoops, Josiah Vincent, your race winner in tonight's race at Talladega. Congratulations to Josiah Vincent. Oh, it keeps jumping over there. He is going to take home the victory at Talladega. Let's see if we can pull him up into the booth straight away. Josiah Vincent, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, Josiah, no better way to lock yourself into the championship round than with a victory here at Talladega. You guys hung around back. You climbed to the top when you need to. And you take home your 2nd win of the year. What's it feel like to advance?
Feels pretty good. Honestly, it was really nerve-wracking there. I owe pretty much everything that happened this race to my teammates. AJ worked with me there at the end, and Jeremiah and Lane and everybody on the team, Lyle, Eric, everyone worked really well together. That's what it takes to win these types of races, and I'm just thankful that I've got some good teammates, and I'm just hanging onto the wheel and trying to put myself in the best spot I could there.
Yeah, you came into the race just 5 points above the cut line, trailing Jeremiah by 5 points as well. How concerned were you, or what was the game plan really from the start to make sure that you could advance here at the very end?
Well, from the start, it was pretty nerve-wracking. My computer shut down on me like 4 or 5 times, so I wasn't even sure if I was going to make the race. So from the start, it was just all about survival and then making it to those last 20 laps or so and then trying to put yourself in a position there. And even there, I was still behind, and Seth was way up there, and I knew I had to get at least close to him. And I hated to see him getting a wreck there, so hoping to be able to race it out with him, but just the nature of the beast here. But definitely glad to move on to the championship 4, and we'll see what we can do next week.
Yes, sir. Definitely was interesting at one point there. As you said, Seth was up towards the front. You guys were right around the 20th position, and definitely looked like you might have been in a bind there with Jeremiah just a couple spots back. But either way, you make your way to the front and take home the victory. What are your thoughts on Homestead? Do you think you got a chance at going out there and winning that race?
I think just like all season long, I think AJ is going to be the one to beat. He's pretty good everywhere, especially the 1.5 miles. So I'll have to get some extra practice in this week and see how I can do. But definitely proud of how this one went.
Yes, sir. Definitely a great race for you here. Started 7th. You lead 7 laps. The last 7 laps on your way to victory and advancing to the championship round next week at Homestead. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go celebrate?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to thank my teammates there. That was mostly their race than mine. But I'd like to thank Nick, Zach, and Jordan, everyone for putting on the league here up below the WL line, and I'd like to thank you as well, and a V-Speed for the broadcast, and Viking City for sponsoring this race. You guys all do a great job.
Awesome, Josiah. Well, congrats on the victory here. A very well-run race. You're able to take it home, and we'll see you next week in the championship round.
Thanks, buddy. See ya.
All right, that was Josiah Vincent, your race winner here tonight. Want to thank Sim Racing Realtor for the follow, and Epidemic 838. Thank you for the host, and appreciate that so much. And unfortunately, the race didn't go quite how you probably wanted it to, but you had a good showing out there for a while. Led some laps, so congrats on that. We're going to go to second place finisher now, AJ Stravato, 8-time winner this season. Let's see if we can pull him into the booth. AJ Stravato, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, AJ, just had a quick chat there with race winner Josiah Vincent, your teammate and friend, and you gave him a big push there to the victory tonight. It didn't even look like you were even thinking about taking home or trying to take home the victory. But great race run by you guys. Give us a rundown of how things went from your perspective.
I think the goal, pretty much the entire race, was just chill in the back. We knew it's Talladega, so there's going to be a lot of drama, a lot of wrecks, I think, towards the end. And, you know, that's exactly what happened. We just played it as smart as we could, avoided the wrecks. And I told my teammates at the beginning of the week, you know, just throughout the week, that it's not about me this week. It's about, you know, helping them and making sure they advance into the Final Four so we can all duke it out as teammates. And, you know, we got that done today. Just really glad I could help Josiah out and Jeremiah out. We had a really good strategy, I think, throughout the entire race, just to, like I said, to keep it clean. Stinks what happened to Eric, but, you know, that's restricted play racing.
Yes, sir, it is indeed. We saw a couple massive wrecks, cars flying through the air. You guys came through unscathed in both circumstances, and either way, you were locked in and advancing no matter what. You have 8 wins this year. We go to a 1.5-mile racetrack. You've been pretty good at basically any track we've been to, but probably the favorite going out there. You know, you think you can take home the victory and capture this championship?
I sure hope so. Homestead is a decent track for me, so we'll see. But I know my teammates are going to be really hungry for that championship and the money as well. So it's not going to be an easy task at all. Definitely looking forward to the challenge, though. Wish Eric obviously could be in with us too. That would be really cool. Just, you know, 4 teammates settling it out. But, you know, he did not have a lot of good luck today, and obviously Nick won at Kansas. So, you know, we got our work cut out for us. Definitely. I'm looking forward to the challenge, but, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day, and looking forward to next week.
Yes, sir. It's going to be a lot of fun watching you guys duke it out, friends and teammates and competitors out there. So a great run here tonight. You didn't take the lead at any point, but, man, you were in probably almost every other position in the field, so able to come home second here. Anybody you want to give a shout-out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to, obviously, you know, my teammates, the Vincents, the Sulfridge brothers. Got a pretty good run today. I can't remember which one, but I know they almost got involved in that last wreck right there. But all the admins, this has been a fun league this season. Hopefully, like I said, we can bring home a championship this season, and that'd be a really cool way to cap off pretty much a good season, I think, for myself, growing and just learning a lot. But yeah, just all the admins, all these guys that make it happen.
Awesome, AJ. Well, congrats on P2 here tonight. Another podium for you. I don't know how many that is, but it's a lot. So great run, and we'll catch you next week.
Absolutely. Great job on the broadcast.
Thank you, sir. That was AJ Stravato, another impressive run from the 48. And we go to third place finisher here tonight, Jeremiah Vincent. Started in 11th. We'll bring him up here now. Jeremiah, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes.
Well, Jeremiah, looks like you're on your way to Homestead with a shot at the championship here with your third place run in Talladega. You had a pretty good race here and able to bring it home with your friends and teammates up here on the podium. Give us a rundown of your race.
I knew it was going to be a wild one just by seeing how the practices have been. It just felt like it was a stronger energy than the last time we were here. And we just stuck with our strategy to just kind of hang around the back a little bit, not too far back, so we still had a chance to make moves. But it was a wild one tonight for sure.
Yes, sir. A couple huge wrecks taking out, a good chunk of the field each time. Cars flying through the air. A little bit of interesting, timing for the first caution as well in the middle of the pit cycle. And I know you guys were kind of hanging back, then you started moving forward. So it was interesting to watch all that. But either way, you're advancing to Homestead next week. And, we've seen you pretty good on these 1.5-mile racetracks. You think you got a chance to go out there and win the championship?
I hope I do. Homestead's been a kind of, I run top 5 normally there on the races, but with this new update they had and everything, I get a lot of practice in because I heard the lines have been changing.
Yeah, the new update. I'm not sure if the aerodynamic updates they made today are gonna change things, but should be a lot of fun. Night race out there, and we'll see what you can do if you can take home the championship here. But you're advancing on with Josiah, AJ, and Nick. Gonna be a lot of fun to watch. Anybody you want to give a shout out to though for tonight's third place finish?
I'd like to give a shout out to all my teammates. Working real well tonight. We executed like our plan, just to try to keep it clean, keep together. And just try to do the best to avoid the wrecks. I know a couple of our guys got caught up in it. They still rallied back, got decent finishes. Proud of them. Proud of Josiah getting his second win of the season. And I know AJ wasn't leaving his bumper, and I wasn't leaving AJ's bumper. We're just focused on just trying to get in.
And get in, you did a top 3 run, and you are on your way to Homestead next week, and we will see you there.
Yeah.
All right, that was Jeremiah Vincent, third place finisher here tonight. And let's go to the rest of the rundown for your results tonight at Talladega. And the top 4 advancing to the championship finale are the same as they entered in. It's going to be Nick Starling, AJ Stravato, Jeremiah, and Josiah Vincent. The Vincent brothers on their way to the championship round. 4 cautions here tonight, 25 lead changes. Josiah Vincent takes home his second victory of the year here at Talladega for the Viking City Motorsports 200. AJ Stravato, runner-up, another podium finish for the 48. The 9 car of Jeremiah Vincent, he said he was glued to the bumper of the 48, and he was. Third place finish here tonight, and that's enough to move on. Timothy Emanuele, he comes home with a nice, strong 4th place finish. Lane Sulfridge with a top 5 here tonight. Eric Gallion, another strong performance following up his run at Richmond in 6th. Cody Adkins comes home 7th. Ryan Gemmel able to muscle out an 8th place finish. It's not going to be enough to go to the championship round, but the perseverance at least paying off for a top 10 here tonight. Seth Hatchell kind of in the same boat. Late incidents here, caught up in other people's messes. He finishes 9th and not going to be advancing either, but good seasons from both of those drivers with wins each. Kyle Payne going to wrap up the top 10 here. In 11th position, it was Brandon Vasquez. 12th was Nick Starling, who is going to be moving on to the championship round. Lyle Sulfridge, 13th. 14th was Jordan Shepware, your pole sitter here tonight. Eric Hutton was 15th. Justin Carey, 16th. Alan Dice, 17th. Dylan Teal, 18th. Joey Mines, 19th. And Safe Ferris rounds out the top 20. 21st, it was Chris Simard. 22nd, Michael Newman. 23rd, Dennis Steele. 24th, Thomas Brendel. 25th, Dallas Sullivan. 26th, Eric Lambert. Thanks again for the raid. 27th, Jordan Brockle, when rounding out the field here. After an early connection problem, Zach Smith in 28th position. But once again, Josiah Vincent, your race winner here at Talladega. And we are going to be going to the championship finale next week at Homestead. You won't want to miss it right here on V-Speed. I want to thank you all for joining us. And check out all of these social media outlets to stay connected with what we're doing throughout the week. You can check out race replays over on YouTube if you want to catch up on the action from this season in the Below the Double Yellow Cup series. But we are going to be jumping in with, well, let's take a look here. Looks like we're going to jump in with Mr. Justin Botello, Justin Bo 20. So go enjoy his content. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Have a great night.